Hi everyone, my name is Michael Tabaradi and you're going to be listening to The Art of Making a Woman Happy. Cool, so I'm going to break this up into 4 different bits. First bit is focusing on personal development, and you'll see what I mean in a second. The second bit is focusing on what makes a man perfect. There is a perfect man, but there isn't at the same time. Third thing is focusing on 10 things men must do in order to make their woman happy. And I'm really going to be talking about key takeaways. So the first thing, the problem with men is that they think they can get anyone. Sometimes they treat women like they're a piece of meat. But they need to look at themselves and think, actually, do you know what? Am I actually attractive, or does this woman actually see something in me?
Preach, sister.
So some guys who are a 6, a 5 or a 6 are going for 8s, 9s and 10s. It's just not going to work. So my advice would be to focus on improving self-development. And when I say self-development, I'm talking about all areas of your life. I'm talking about finances, I'm talking about physique, I'm talking about your spiritual life, I'm talking about all those different things. So personal development is key in order to attract people, because after that, through your journey of growth, you will attract the right sort of people. So you don't go out chasing people, women should be flocking to you. That's how it should work. Now there's this really good quote that I like. The real power of a man is in the size of the smile of the woman sitting next to him. So if the woman sitting next to you is not smiling right now, you got a problem. That's what I'm saying.
I don't like it. Some people are just miserable.
Fair dues, man.
That's a good quote. I like that.
But the point being made is that if you can add to the source of a woman's joy, that's really important. You don't define their happiness, you don't define their joy, but at the same time, if you can add to it, you're a keeper.
Okay.
So what makes a perfect man? So I talk about the 3 Ps, yeah? I've spoken about this with some of the guys, but we're going to go through it in this presentation. Now, this is what I think makes a perfect man, but there's no such thing as a perfect man. There is somebody who can move towards perfection in terms of qualities. So these are the 3 different qualities I'm talking about. First thing is profit. I'm going to break it down into 3 different bits. Status. Okay, I've defined it here as having a relatively positive social or professional standing. In other words, if you don't have some sort of respect in what you're doing, whether this is at work, in a community setting, or some sort of social aspect where people see you as that leader or respect you as in terms of what you're doing, then you're less likely going to have that status factor. I'm not saying it has to be big, I'm not saying it has to be small, it needs to be respectable in terms of what you're doing. And I think women pride themselves in making sure that they have a man who has their status on point, or at least to a level where it's decent. The second thing is planning, okay? You need to have evidence or some sort of strategy or approach that proves that you're actually trying to better yourself. I've called it wealth here, it doesn't have to be wealth, but you need to show and evidence that you're trying to get to the next step. Because if you're some deadbeat guy who's not really doing anything, women are not really interested. You may be a little bit, interesting here and there for a short while, but with no evidence of planning and future planning, then women are going to get turned off. And the final thing here is assets, okay? Now, you don't have to have the asset, okay? You may not necessarily have an index fund or property or whatever it is, but if you have the right sort of wealth mindset, and if you inspire wealth into your woman as well, they're going to respect you as a person because they feel secure. All of this really talks about security and that provider mentality mindset that we have in this world, but assets is key. More so the intellect rather than having the assets. So profit is the first P. Well, second P is personality. Again, I've broken this down into 3 different bits. Communication. Now, when it comes to the coaching world, we use 2 real forms of communication: active listening and effective questions. And the whole aim of that is to unleash potential. And you want to do the same thing for your lady, because at the end of the day, they may be having a bad day, or maybe they want to sort of pose a problem to you. You need to have that ear to listen to them effectively, not hear them, but listen to them and ask effective questions to unleash, the things that are deep within them. But also, you don't want to be too assuming, okay? So in certain situations, certain guys may, lean in for the kiss when it's too early. You need to be able to understand body language in the right way. So again, the communication is on point. So not too much, but not too little. Second thing is fashion, okay? It's really, really important, yeah? Get your swag on point, yeah? Basic thing for guys, good haircut, nice beard like me right now, yeah? Did this for this presentation. Yeah, you have to have a Zara smart casual look as a safety net, but I'm not saying that as a prerequisite. What I am saying is have a design or fashion style that aligns to you as a person. So if something floral and pink or orange suits you as a person and you can wear it bold, then do it, because that will make you stand out and that attracts you. So that's part of personality as well. The last thing for personality is likability. Likability includes being empathetic when necessary, okay? Really understanding that person heart to heart, but also making sure you can make the person laugh, okay? Women like funny men, it's a given fact. But don't be too funny where it's folly and you end up being in the friend zone. But in addition to that, women like a man who is confident and has purpose, okay? There's something about them that creates this magnetic feel and allows them to feel like there's something about this guy that I really, really like, okay? So you need to have that in your voice and your being. So this is personality. The last P is physique, okay? I could have done a really bulky guy, but not every woman likes a really, really bulky guy. But somebody who's trim and on point is important. I'm not saying you have to dress like this person, but you get the picture. Basics for guys. Haven't done this today. However, make sure you eat clean and avoid toxins. So focusing on things like avoiding, bleached foods, sugars, and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you consistently work out and stick to a plan, because if you want to look like Simian Panda, then you need to make sure that you have a proper plan in place. Those who know Simian Panda, you know what I'm talking about. And the last thing again is be fashionable, which relates to the last P as well. So we have profit, personality, and we have physique. You need to have at least 2 of those things to at least give you a chance, okay? So for example, I'll wait. Perfect. So for example, if you had physique and personality, that's a plus, but you can work on the profit side of things, okay? If you had profit and you had physique, that's great, but you need to work on the personality side of things. If you only have one of those things, it gets a bit more difficult, okay? There are so many guys who have gone to the gym and transformed their lives because it has not only changed their physique, but changed their outer shell as well. So those are the 3 Ps that help build a perfect man. Now these are 10 steps for guys that they need to adopt in order to make sure they keep their woman happy, or at least if they go on a date, they can start thinking about these things. Number 1, you need to listen to her and stop solving her problems, okay? If your woman is talking about something that happens, maybe at work or with her friends or whatever it is, they don't want you to solve the problem. They just want somebody who can listen to them so they can express themselves and have that outlet. So you need to be in a position where you're willing to receive that information and just say, yeah, I know what you mean, because like da-da-da-da-da-da, okay? Kind of creating an echo chamber, but when it's necessary, then you can start thinking about solutions when it's appropriate, but not in a time where the fire is hot. Second point, you need to be their cheerleader, coach, and celebrate their big wins, okay? Somebody who is a mentor or coach-like person is really important in people's lives, whether you're a partner or not. Because at the end of the day, I was talking about unleashing that potential. You want to make sure that your partner is the best that they can be and you are the best that you can be as well. So celebrate their big wins, big or small. Third point, make her feel special amongst friends and family. It's kind of like when lions go to a certain area and they piss in the area to say, this is my territory. Same thing, you're making that face, but they've claimed that area as theirs. And that's the point I'm trying to make here. You're not trying to embarrass the woman, you're not trying to do PDA. However, you're making it firm and very secure in the sense that you're saying this woman is mine. And that makes that person feel special. Point 4, be goofy and make her laugh. I'm not saying be completely stupid, but do things that make her laugh and smile, because again, if you can make your lady smile and laugh, that just sharpens the connection even more, okay? Point 5, give her that naughty look occasionally, yeah? Okay, sometimes you need to let her know what time it is, and I think a bit of cheekiness and a bit of sensuality is important because again, when you meet your partner for the first time, usually 9 times out of 10, it's the look that really gets that person. So you don't want to get into a situation where it gets too comfortable. You want to get into a situation where you can still feel young and excited as well. Point 6, Provide her with positive affirmation daily. Okay. Now, with this, I'm not saying lie. There's no way under any circumstances you should lie. But what you should do is make sure that when they are saying something, if you can connect that to a positive affirmation, let them know that they're good at it, or let them know that they've done well at something, or let them know that they have the ability to achieve what they need to achieve. Again, you're a unit, so you need to work together to get to the next step. Point 7, build your plan together. What's the point in being together if you're not building together? Okay? You may have your own separate lives, but together as a strong partnership, as a strong unit, there's so much more you could do. You're telling this person all your secrets, all your, I don't know, all your worries and woes and all these different things there. So if you can actually plan together and think about what you can do together, it's beautiful, man. It's a great feeling, and it's a great thing when accomplished, especially when people are trying to do the same thing for themselves. It's a good example to build. Point 8, surprise her with gifts occasionally. Now, a lot of guys can't be bothered to do this part because they think money, okay, straight away. They think, oh my gosh, I need to spend all this money. But you don't have to spend all this money. It just needs to be random, it needs to be sentimental, and it needs to be from the heart. I'm not saying you need to spend hundreds or thousands of pounds on your lady. What I am saying is sometimes just surprise her to make her feel special. Point 9, do activities together. I say every month, but it doesn't have to be every month. Depending on your schedule and their schedule, you can do it on a bi-weekly basis, on a monthly basis, bi-monthly basis, or quarterly basis. Just find things together, create a bucket list, and do things that she likes to do and do things that you like to do. Sometimes you have to compromise your pride and your ego and maybe things that you're not necessarily interested in, in order to actually do these things. But as long as you do it and experience it for yourself, then again, that makes her happy, and it may even change your perspective as well. And the last thing is to make sure you love her unconditionally. I always say, and I said this to I was best man for my friend's wedding. I said in my speech that you need to make sure you say, I love you to your woman before you go to sleep, every single day, no matter what. Okay? Just show them that appreciation, show them that you do love them unconditionally, and show them that you are connected. So, in summary, what I've spoken about is stop treating women like meat and focus on you. This is for men specifically. Think about the piece that you need to work on. Is it physique? Is it profit? Is it personality? Or is it all of them? Be gentle emotionally and really just get down to the base roots and think about how you can connect with your woman. 4, build her with sentiment. 5, do things together. And lastly, love her unconditionally. Thank you very much. Got 2 minutes for questions.
Dating coach Michael.
Huh?
That's a dating coach Michael.
Any questions? If not, I'll just end it.
Is there anything that, any of the points that you may have found that you struggled with?
Yes. I would say definitely started off with physique. Sometimes personality as well. In terms of not being patient enough. What else is there? I think I definitely have the wealth mindset, but not the assets there yet fully, if that makes sense. So I'm working on all of them, some better than the other. So yeah, that's where I drew it from. And when speaking to other people and speaking to even some ladies at work, they were like, yeah, this is true actually. Da, 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 da. So yeah, that's what I would say for me.
Okay, would you say this applies to women as well?
No,
Why?
not 100%. Because even though this is important for women, same thing applies to them. They're not necessarily the same priorities. Slightly different, and I'll probably do a presentation on that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, off the top of your head, would you give a priority that they have that differs to the ones mentioned for men?
I can't comment. I can't. But they are different. I've definitely thought about it. Okay, cool. Right. That was awkward.